It's the game that sold out in 20 minutes. Atlantic Canada is ready for the national team. More specifically, we're in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Canada looking for redemption against Brazil. And on a night where all the goblins and ghouls are out in full force, the Canadians are hoping to give the Brazilians a fright. It's Match Day Live, presented by CIBC right here on One Soccer. Hello, everyone. Eddie Petrillo, Carmelina Moscato, birthday boy, Jordan Wilson. Happy Halloween, everyone. It's Fright Night. This is Thriller. Who are you going to call? Happy Samhain. That's right. This is the night for all spooky things. Am I the only one who wore orange and did something?
Excited. I'm complimenting you with my black, so I've done my part. I've done my part.
I love Halloween. Not just because it's your birthday, my friend. I love Halloween. I really hope they're handing out candies. The biggest candy of all, of course, will be the Canadians pulling off a victory here because, Carm, we know they're looking for a little bit of redemption. They just played on Saturday. That was in Montreal, another sold-out crowd there. 94th minute, Brazil gets the goal to defeat Canada 1-0. But all game long, Canada was really having problems with Brazil's press. Just take us back to that time.
Yeah, I think there's one thing to have a bit of trouble against an organized press, which this coach, actually, Artur Elias, is very well known for in Corinthians. He does this well, and you know what? Credit to Bev. She didn't really know what he was going to do in this match, and I think they did catch them off guard. But what we need to see from Canada is not only in their organized defending against their counter-pressing, you need players who want the ball. I noticed that they were players on the pitch, especially the center backs. They started to hide a little bit when the pressure got a little bit too intense for them. And then you start to look at what makes this team great. When they're doing excellent positional play, breaking lines, comfortable on the ball, they're capable. But this is the hardest opponent they've played since the World Cup because Jamaica, they didn't feel this kind of pressure.
Yeah, Carm, I couldn't agree more. I also just want to add as well, I think when you look at Brazil playing against Canada on the weekend, everyone's matched up, right? Brazil had a similar formation as well. I think in those times, you have to choose the right moment, but you have to go past a player. You have to beat someone, whether it be 2v2 in the midfield. Someone has to say, you know what, I'm going to get the better view of the day, and I'm going to start playing positive and progressive football. I found too many times Canada was just playing backwards, a bit too stagnant, then a long ball from Sheridan. It was just a bit too sloppy, for lack of a better word. You need someone to be brave, like Carm said, get on the ball and say, look, I'm going to be the person to connect the lines and to break forward.
Is that sometimes what happens is when you do feel that pressure, your instinct is maybe to pass back just a little bit too much? You didn't feel like the Canadians were moving forward?
Yes and no. It's a tactical behavior to be able to receive the ball facing forward, half turn, be able to look forward, play forward. And that should be accomplished in the high-level club environments, those habits that you hope show up in a national team jersey. So for me, it's sort of on the players as well. But also what I do appreciate is that they would have learned from that and be able to bring that into today's match, having a bit more foresight than they did going in with a brand new coach and a brand new Brazilian team.
I feel like a broken record a little bit. We're going to talk a lot again about the Canadians and their attack, which does seem to show up some games and then disappears for a little bit. And obviously that was a game against Brazil where they didn't get a goal. Obviously with the way Kaylin Sheridan was playing, a lot of people were hoping she would get the clean sheet. Took a couple deflections and it ends up beating her. But the Canadians, the chances they did have, Jordo, and set pieces has been a strength of theirs. In fact, we were getting concerned about goals from open play. They fixed that a little bit against Jamaica, but set pieces still remain a strength for them.
And let it continue to be. Yeah. That's something to rely on, right? Yes, of course, we want to see Canada combine and connect and be dangerous in and around the box. But if you have that confidence going forward, and Carm, you've played, if you're going up and you feel like as a center back or whatever it is, you're looking at 3 clips right here where Vanessa Gilles is a part of all of them, just because dominant in the air. If this is a way you can get goals, by clipping the ball back post, heading it back across, just getting the better of a player, then why not do that? I think these were the 3 best chances for Canada in this past match, so let this be their bread and butter.
Yeah, there's also something around going into the World Cup, which I will reference right now. They were at about a 33% conversion rate heading in the preparation matches, and that was in Tokyo where they had none.
Jeez.
So there was a huge growth aspect to their set pieces. They brought in Jen Hurst, goalkeeper coach, had put a lot of detail into these moments. Like you said, they have all the personnel necessary to score these goals in game-changing moments. They didn't do that in this match, and they're going to have to find a way to find Kadisha Gilles, proven goal scorers in the big moments for Canada.
Well, that goal that we saw by the Canadians, Jill, that was called offside. That was right, so that's why they didn't get it. And they did have some great chances, but you got to give credit to the Brazilian goalkeeper who came up with some big saves too, because the moments Canada did have, they just didn't bury it. The problem is those moments were few and far between. Well, Bev Priestman out in Halifax now with the team, back in the Maritimes for the first time since 2012. Our Amy Walsh is out there as well and had a chance to catch up with the manager.
Bev's second game tonight in Halifax against Brazil. What's the mood in the camp following that loss in Montreal on Saturday?
Yeah, I think we're keen to get after it. I think, we spoke about some of the learnings, and it's okay to learn, but at the end of the day, we've also got to thrive in moments of adversity and learning. So, I've encouraged the team to come out tonight and show a bit of personality and get on the ball and, put some of the things I thought we struggled with in the last game right. Not knowing how they'll line up, but ultimately trying to show people's personality and identity on the pitch.
And with that, for you as a coach, there's a balancing act, not only with Christine and giving her enough time and giving the fans some Christine, but you also have a task in assessing players. So how do you balance that assessment with the results?
Yeah, I think I have to have the bigger picture. The lineup, I've made changes. I've got to see a brand new face in Emma Regan starting. So yeah, I think I have to see Paris 2024 in mind, but you've always got that balance of confidence in the group and trying to get results. And I think this game can be won across 90 minutes. And, for those that have started, we've got a great bench to come on and impact the game. So I think it's the nature of the next sort of 3-4 games using the full, because you head into 2024 and you've got to start narrowing in.
Okay. And then with what you saw from Brazil in that first game, are you expecting much of the same from them today? And is it enough from you to do some rotation and see some different faces, or is it a complete shake-up in terms of mentality and tactics?
Yeah, if I'm him, and from what I've read, I think he could change things. I think he could roll out a different 11, different tactics. And we've just got to be ready and equipped for that. But I think, again, we put a lot of emphasis on how to beat them. Today, I've really gone about, right, what are we about, and how can we take what we do to them? Because ultimately, put Brazil, put France, put any team in front of us, we've got to master doing us well and get the best out of the players that we have. So that's what I'm hoping for tonight.
Best of luck. Thanks,
Right.
Bev.
Thank you. Thanks.
See Bev Priestman's starting 11 here, brought to you by GE, and it is different, ladies and gentlemen. Right from in goal, D'Angelo's the one getting the start. Zadorsky's being inserted into that back line. Lawrence back to the left. We're going to talk Emma Regan in just a moment. Jade Revere is back in, and Viennes getting the start in that middle position. Let's bring in Amy Walsh. We just saw her doing that interview with Bev Priestman. Amy, going through that starting 11, who do you think needs to step up? This is a different starting 11 from the ones we saw against Jamaica and even in that last game against Brazil. So some new personnel here. Who are you looking at?
I think I look immediately at Evelyn Vienne, who's somebody who probably felt hard done by to not get some minutes in her home province, and now we're out east and nothing really to lose. I had a quick chat with her when they arrived off the bus, and she let it slip that she was starting, and she's like, well, we'll see what happens. I said, well, you got nothing to lose. Go out there with some jump, some energy, and then just, do what you've been doing at Roma. Do what you've been doing in Sweden, and that's banging in goals. So why can't she do that against Brazil today? So I think pressure's on for her to perform, for her to execute, to be clinical with the opportunities when they come, but she definitely has the talent to do it. She just has to do it on the international stage.
I love it, Amy. Reporter by night, but coach by day. Speaking of coach, you coached Emma Regan. Why don't we take a look at her and just some of the players here that you're looking at?
Yeah, definitely sturdy, reliable. She has played across fullback positions, center back positions, but has found a home in Denmark with Hobie Kua. I said that properly, by the way, just because I, coach there. But all to say, she does deserve a look. She has been banging in goals in her club environment, which is something above and beyond her role description. But I'm very excited to see her get this chance. I can only imagine the nerves running through, her body right now, because she was a U20 player. She has played World Cups for this country, but at this level, not yet. So I think she's going to be wanting to seize the moment and put everything into it and be a consistent player that she can be across club and youth football.
Yeah, and I think if Reagan's looking at the match from Saturday, you want someone to disrupt the midfield, someone with defensive capabilities as Reagan. This is what Canada needs in a game. We talk about Jessie Fleming playing higher. I know she's not involved today, but in terms of when you're looking at 2v2 in the midfield, you want someone that can bully another opponent and get by them, and that's what Reagan can do. So I hope she can bring those attributes from the start, because I think that's what Canada's missing as well. Just an injection of personality in that midfield.
Amy, I want to get your thoughts as well on Emma Reagan, and not that, you know, you want to put a ton of pressure on her, but of course Sydney Collins is the most recent example of a player that nobody really knew much about, goes into the lineup, and it's pretty flawless for her. We haven't seen Emma with the senior team since 2018. She was part of the CONCACAF Championship qualifying that helped Canada qualify for the 2019 World Cup, but 2018 is when she played. This is her first call-up in 5 years. You were once a captain of this national team. I mean, what would your message be to a player like that?
Ladies and gentlemen.
That was a long time ago, Andy Petrillo. But my message would be to just go out there and enjoy it. A similar message to what I was telling Evelyn Vienne and what she's going to hopefully go out there and do. So not that you have nothing to lose, because I think you feel a little bit of the pressure, but I think you rise to the occasion and you embrace the opportunity that you're given here. And Bev Priestman has had nothing but glowing words and really high praise for Emma Reagan since she's come into this camp. I think they had people scouting her, did very well, and then she's continued to keep that bar really, really high in camp. And that's what you want. That's your first test. Here's your second test now, out on the pitch, starting 11, and see if they can shake things up collectively, energy-wise, against Brazil. And I love the word that Jordan used with the disrupt, because that's what they need in the midfield, but that's what they need all over the pitch tonight to really, I think, rattle Brazil and to get some opportunities themselves in that final third.
When it comes to Christine St. Clair, the conversation, of course, is what is this team going to look like once it's all said and done? And we know that this will be it for her. So it's all about looking at the youth, because it's not just Christine St. Clair. Sophie Schmidt, as we know, announced her retirement. I mean, Desiree Scott's been dealing with something. Alicia Chapman's not here. Congratulations. You know, with her pregnancy. There's change. No matter what, there's change. So who are some of these young players that you want to see Bev give a chance to?
Yeah, we're happy that Emma's in the lineup tonight. We've already talked about that. I would love to see Olivia Smith. You know, somebody who has put herself in the pro environment, has done everything she can possibly do to give her a little bit more of a look tonight. And I think she definitely deserves that. And I think they're looking for that spark, that in-behind threat, that 1v1 maverick. She can bring all that. And then Mimi.
Yeah, Mimi, I'll quickly go on Olivia. Just if we think about Christine St. Clair, 23 years ago, was just a 16-year-old, right? Going to play like with the youth. This is what you want. You want someone that, like Olivia Smith, that's venomous, that loves to express herself and go out and play her football. So maybe that opportunity and just that belief in a coach is what she might need to put her in the right direction. I think with Mimi as well, when you're looking at a player also in the midfield, it's an area where you can just voice and you can have for Canada, where we have a certain type in Quinn, Grosso, but just add a little difference. If you can get those partnerships right and those clientele, you have someone who keeps the ball moving, but also someone who's a bit sturdy. It could be a nice matchup in the midfield.
Yeah, and there's also, so Dorsky's going back in. D'Angelo's getting the start. I mean, we know Kaylin Sheridan obviously is the #1. Kaylin Sheridan now leads the huddle before every game, which is something that Steph Labbe did. But how important is it to get that backup keeper in?
We talked about it all last match. You know, at one point, Sabrina was actually warming up to go into the match because there was a little bit of a knock on Sheridan. We never wanted it to be in that way, but we were talking about the idea that Sabrina needs to start getting these minutes, these meaningful minutes in matches that matter against top opposition, because if that moment ever came, has in the past not been able to get that opportunity. So really, really pleased for her. And even Zadorsky, I think it's a moment in time for her to go and capture that. A left-footed center back is of the highest value. Every coach is looking for that. And I think she has an opportunity to put her mark on the match.
Are you good with your left?
I'm decent.
Okay.
Yeah, like I can make a pass from me to you.
Okay.
I guess that's okay. No, okay. But yeah, they're the left-footed center back. Left-footed players, they're rare birds. But I also think in the goalkeeper situation, I know it's a cliche, but like iron sharpens iron. If you have both of them playing their best quality football, and one can step in and the other one can promote the other one as well and support them, that's dynamite. That's what you want as a coach.
All right, who are they taking on? What's the starting 11 for Brazil? Let's bring that to you now, brought to you by GE. And once again, Marta's getting the start. I had said this on Saturday, right? So you have these two legends, Marta, Christine St. Clair. Christine, we know these are going to be her final games. Marta, even though she said it was her final World Cup, has not ruled out the Paris 2024 Olympics, and she has made her return from an ACL injury. She was at the World Cup. So giving her a lot lot of minutes, giving her the start. I mean, clearly this is a team that also believes that she's somebody that can lead them. They've already qualified for Paris, but maybe they can finally go out and get that gold that's missing for her. So that's Brazil starting 11. Yes, the spooky music. We're going to keep this theme up all night long. It is Halloween. The Canadians are going to have to wait for their sugar rush until after the match. They have work to do. It's Canada, Brazil on One Soccer.
Access Storage, proudly supporting Canada Soccer's women's national team on their road to Paris 2024.
Degree, 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree, keeps working when others stop.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
We created Carlsberg 00 because even the best things can be better with alcohol-free beer. Clean one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking in space, better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of ultimate chicken sausages and hot dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Now it's Sinclair. There's quality. Sinclair for Parker. Parker back to Sinclair. Now Sinclair. Not much support in front, although Matheson is there. Matheson stopped by the goalkeeper. Spilled it a little bit too before finally covering up. Rian Wilkinson. Both over the ball. Matheson. Sinclair! Of course, it's Christine Sinclair. Her 14th goal this year, number 134 all time. If that surely is the late winner for Canada.
Well, we're taking you back to 2012 on that one. The last time the Canadians were in the Maritimes, that was Moncton, New Brunswick. You spotted your number right. That's me, right there. Christine Sinclair getting the goal in stoppage time over China, heading into the 2012 London Olympics. And we all know how that just springboarded the popularity of the sport, this team. Christine Sinclair, we talked about 2012 being that coming out party. What do you remember about that game?
Yeah, nothing at all. I think I should be looking into this because I was just surprised to see myself on camera.
You remember you were on the team?
From just maybe, no, I didn't. I'm just not going to lie to you. I don't remember being
What is happening over here? But you're younger than me. You need to stop that. Let's bring
Get that checked out.
Let's bring A.B. Walsh back into the fold. And that was 2012, as we know. We discussed this, right? So a young Christine Sinclair, a young Carm Moscato as well. With Christine Sinclair, the conversation will still revolve around her, Amy. Do you think there will be a leadership void once she's gone?
I don't think that think there will be. I mean, it's not just Christine Sinclair, but it's Steph Labbe, it's Erin McLeod, it's that generation that is sort of exited little by little. And Desi Scott will be coming back into the fold. Janine Becky will be coming back into the fold. So there will be that bridge between sort of an old generation and this new generation coming up. And of course, Jessie Fleming, who kind of doesn't fit in any of those boxes because she's such a young player, but has amassed so much critical experience over the course of her 24 years, not 24 years with the program, but 24 years of age. But she has qualities that are similar to Christine Sinclair, but I really do think that this will be kind of leadership by committee, and I also think an overhaul of talent by committee. So you're really seeing an emergence of this next generation, almost a golden generation like we see with their counterparts with the men's national team. And these new players today that we're getting a look with this rotated squad, it's a chance for them to really showcase their talents, and a chance for Bev Priestman to really sort of walk that line in the balancing act that she has to do between assessment and getting results. So I'm really interested to see how it all plays out tonight in Halifax.
All right, great stuff, Amy. We're going to check in with you a little bit later. But you know what? Amy did ask that really great question to Bev, because we had discussed it a little bit as well about this balancing act, because you want to be able to get Christine Sinclair into games. She came in the 68th minute on Saturday. But at the same time, Carm, there is so much work to do. Yes. As a manager. I mean, there's a really good chance they'll be in the She Believes Cup, but nothing has been confirmed yet. We know they're going to be in the Gold Cup, yeah. So the inaugural year for them to be competing into that before they get to Paris. But I mean, every game matters. So you want to give her playing time, but at the same time, we need to see these young players you just talked about.
Yeah, we really do. And I think there's something about this team evolving into, the leadership by committee, what's actually needed, right? Because every group and every generation changes in what's needed. Sinclair has always been that quiet, humble, lead by example. Jessie, again, has a bit of that in her. But now it's kind of like, who has the most influence? And sometimes you actually don't know. From the outside, you're not able to see who has the locker room, who, I call everyone, as a coach, everyone's a leader, because even if I just influence you, I'm leading you. And some have a greater influence across many, and then their example is even more potent and important. So I think we don't really know, but I think they're in the perfect moment for leadership to emerge, because this is now a moment in time where the team isn't flying. The World Cup happened, and they're going to need to rebound. And who is the personality, either by vocal leadership, by leadership by example, who's going to step up and do it? I think that right now is the time.
Well, it's valid. We have no clue what happens in the room. I see Kaylin Sheridan leading the huddle, right? I see other people maybe being vocal on the field. Jessie Fleming, though, is still kind of quiet, like Christine Sinclair. Right? But it doesn't matter. This is a team, obviously, that as we, scores by committee and will lead by committee. Carm, you're going to go call the match.
Sounds
so we're going to say goodbye to you as Canada gets set to take on Brazil. We'll see you later. And you know what? They'll have two other friendlies coming up as the farewell tour does continue for Christine Sinclair. She's going back home, going to Victoria, BC, Vancouver, BC. And both of those games will be against Australia. Now, talk about a rematch, Jardo. They are not happy about how the World Cup ended. You are watching Matchday Live, presented by CIBC, right here on One Soccer. The Canadians, they're in Halifax. They're at Wanderers grounds, where the CPL team Halifax Wanderers calls home. It is a sold-out crowd. Looks like a very cool night. Perfect night for a little footy, shall we say? Canada's women's national team on One Soccer is brought to you by the Toyota Corolla family.
One day, we won't have to work 2 jobs.
One day, we won't have to be players on the field and activists off of it.
One day, I'll see them and know I can be them.
One day, more sponsors will compete to join our roster.
One day, we won't have to leave Canada to play professionally.
But all of these one days are on the line. The future
of women's soccer
is on the line.
If you don't support us today.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
I do this for my town, my time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
CanadaSoccerStore.com is the official home for the widest range of Canada Soccer licensed product, match jerseys, and fanwear.
Match day live. The games at home continue for the Canadian women. They're going to have 5 straight in total. It all started with the Jamaica game, which was an actual Olympic qualifier. Then Brazil in Montreal, Brazil again in Halifax, and then the 2 games against Australia out in BC, and they're all sold out. Happy Halloween. Annie Petrillo, Jordan Wilson getting set for this one. I just looked at my phone because I can see all the little kitties ringing my doorbell, and then I said, should I be really naughty and yell through my doorbell and scare them?
Shake the candy and lose it?
That's what I love tonight with all my heart. The only thing that could pull me away from handing out candy, of course, would be covering the team. How important is it to have these home games, and what does it also say to you that they're sold out?
I think everyone's been asking for it. I know the players have. There's just a different feeling, right? Playing on home soil, playing with a sold-out crowd. Also, games like tonight, 2 degrees, the end of Maritimes, you get to play a night game under the lights. It's beautiful, right? It's also a bit weird for me to see Halifax Wanderers ground so red.
Red, yeah,
right? It's just like, it's very weird but beautiful. I think this is a time for the players to step up and just show what it means to play for Canada in front of the home crowd, because that just gives you that extra motivation, that extra boost. And I think also a lot of people are here just to give Christine their flowers, and we've mentioned it. That's what Canadian fans and the climate wanted to do, right? Is just send her off well and give her that love that she so rightly deserves.
Yeah, twofold. It's the last chance you're going to see Christine Sinclair play. All-time international goal scorer. There's something special about saying, I saw that person live. And then at the same time, these are the Olympic champions who have qualified and will have a chance to go and defend their title. This is all about growth. And, you know, kudos to having the 5 straight home games, because oftentimes when you're overseas, it almost feels a little inaccessible.
Yes.
This is great. This is great. And the Canadian fans are showing up. They're showing they're showing their love. Are you showing your love like that? I don't really know. But I love seeing people in costumes. Let's go. It is Halloween. It is spooky. It is footy night. You got Canada hosting Brazil next on One Soccer.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
From the edge of your seat or up on your feet, let them hear you cheer.
This match is brought to you by CIBC, Canada Soccer's lead partner.
Well, very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wanderers grounds here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, as Canada gets set to play the second friendly in a row against Brazil. Held off the score sheet at Stade Saputo in Montreal at the weekend. Tickets for this match sold out in less than half an hour. Halifax so happy to have the national team back in Atlantic Canada, the first time in over 10 years. And of course, a Halloween evening, the final day before we flip the calendar to November. Still some business to attend to for Bev Priestman and company in their post-World Cup and now officially pre-Olympic tune-up. It was a little bit lacking in terms of the offensive bite in that first match for this Canadian national team. Of course, a cameo for Christine Sinclair in the game as well. And it's a balancing act for Bev Priestman, who put together one of the best performances, or at least the team was able to do so under her tutelage at BMO Field against Jamaica, to punch that ticket on a very memorable night to book their spot back at the Paris Olympics. But from here on out, it's about friendlies, it's about getting everything set. And as we wait for the sides to take to the pitch, I welcome my friend Carmelina Moscardo, the broadcast, newly minted Canadian Soccer Hall of Famer, might I add. Carm, you had the booth with Matt Cullen on Saturday, and your big takeaways from that match in terms of what Bev maybe wanted to see and what the reality of the match was.
Yeah, I think they started the game, Canada started the game extremely well. The first 10 minutes were excellent. We saw the intensity they wanted. You know, there were players on the asking for the ball, the pressing intensities, but genuinely after that 10-minute period, we started to see some of their trends that we've seen in recent games, which is maybe lacking a bit of bravery in the possession, a little bit of unforced errors. And unfortunately, that's how they ended up losing the match late in the 94th minute. I'd love to see a higher pressing intensity from this Canadian team. Lots of great players who are able to put more pressure, higher lines of engagement, as well as, you know, we want to see the next, the 6 changes do very well tonight. Brave, again, from Bev to go ahead and change that lineup, and then a debutante with Emma Reagan after 5 years coming back, and hopefully she can do something really special in that midfield.
Well, lots to digest from both starting 11s. We will bring that to you shortly. In the meantime, we will step aside and let the Wanderers grounds and the national anthems carry us to kickoff here on One Soccer.
Fans, we now draw your attention to midfield and invite you to join us in celebrating 2 of international football's most iconic athletes who will be participating in a special jersey exchange in recognition of their combined contribution to the growth of women's sport ahead of today's match. First, join us in welcoming to the Wanderers grounds Brazil's legendary number 10, Marta. Next, we invite you to join us in celebrating the remarkable career of Canada Soccer's Captain Everything, who will be playing her final international matches this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest international goal scorer of all time. Fans, please rise if you are able. Remove your headwear for the national anthem of Brazil. Fans, please remain standing. Raise your Canada colors and join us in singing All Canada.
Well, it is admittedly a little bit odd to see the Wanderers ground with so much red across the venue, home to the Halifax Wanderers in the Canadian Premier League, proudly blue, but these supporters are proud to lend the coat and